Hello, beach friends. The island on this particular day, now I know we go to the beach every week, but today it's going to be so beautiful. Just the right time of day, the right island, the right birds, the right clouds. Everything was so beautiful. So we are going on a little bit of an echo tour. It is a kayak tour over to the north end of Keewaydin. So this is going to be a little bit different than what we normally do. Now, you know me, anytime you get me near a beach, I'm going to be looking for seashells. So even though this is an echo tour, we will be looking and finding seashells. And stick with me to the end because we're going to clean up some pretty slimy crown conchs that we're going to find. It is going to be an absolutely picture perfect day. And we're going to explore the island and see what kind of fun things are out there. Now, I will be identifying all the things that we find on the beach, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I got here. So if you wanted to have this kind of tour, you can do that too. So if you're ready to see what's out there for us today, let's go to the beach. All right, here we are in the north end of Keewaydin. I've already had a lovely paddle over here, and I'm excited to start doing some exploring, see what kind of goodies are out there for us today. Now, there's a couple other people with us, but for all intent and purposes, we kind of have the place to ourselves. Would you look at that? Well, that is a thick lucine, but that's a juvenile version. The adults have a really bubbly underside, and hopefully we're going to get to see one of those. So that is a thick lucine. The weirdo arc shell, that is a mossy arc. And they just look weird. They just look misshapen. That's the way they're supposed to look. That is a mossy arc. All right, amongst all the other seashells here, we have a murex. This is an apple murex. It's got its cousin, the lace murex. Kind of looks like it, a little bit more stretched out though. Oh boy. All right, so there is seashells here, and I'm kind of scurrying because some of the other people wanted to head north, and I figured, let me just kind of do a quick run and, kind of quickly see what's on the beach so I can kind of have the first crack at everything. There's a shark eye. And you know what I discovered? I don't like going really quick, so I gave up. I did. I was going to try to, beat people to the north end of the island. To heck with it. Let's go in the water. Let's see what's here. Now, it is a little cloudy, so a lot of times this kind of shelling can be just an exercise in frustration. But I do very much like being in the water, and just the way my head works, I kind of think, ooh, I'm going to get first crack at it, as if it hadn't been on the beach at any point. All right, cool. A piece of a fighting conch. Oh, there we go. That is an entire fighting conch. That's more what I'm kind of looking for. That beautiful big seashell. A Florida fighting conch and another. All right, that one's a little more broken up on the bottom. I don't know what I'm going to find today, so I'm not going to be particularly picky when I kind of first start out, because I just don't know what all is going to be here. Okay, here is another one of those thick lucines. Yep, cool. That underside just kind of weird and bubbly, right? And if we compare that to the little one, the first shell we found, it's much more smooth. So just interesting. I'm a shell nerd. I like these things. That is a thick lucine. Oh, another arc. Now we picked up the weirdo. This is a turkey wing. And for me, I kind of look at the bottom first to see if it's broken. It's easier for me to tell if I look at the bottom because they're just kind of a free form kind of shell. So that is a turkey wing. This is a turkey wing too. So there I go, looking at the bottom. All right, looks like it's got all its parts. Gorgeous, nice ribs, beautiful color. And a lightning whelk, a nice size too. But it's broken. And I know I'm going to be a little picky, so we're going to leave that one here. But the prickly cockle, no, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to hold Not so much on the lightning whelk. Yes, on the prickly cockle. Yes, on this mossy arc. Oh, I do like seeing all the little intricacies of those shells. All right, that one's a little pitted. All right, still kind of cool. 3 mossy arcs. And an oyster. I don't typically spend too much time. Oh, I do like these shells. So some of those shells can get discolored. So this seashell was buried in sand that had low oxygen, and it kind of just, it is a chemical reaction that happens within the shell, and it makes them black. So we're gonna go exploring. Oh, wait, what's that orange thing? Oh, okay, it is literally a piece of orange. Excellent for your inquiring minds. All right, here is another one of those kind of dyed shells, nature-based dye. Oh, that's a rough scallop, so cool. I wish it was a little blacker, not gonna complain though. That's really neat. So it can make these shells just abnormal. So that is not the normal color of the shell. Now some of the things I'm gonna pick up, like the jingles, yep, that's supposed to be dark. That's fine, they do come in black and gray, but some of these shells, oh, that is neat. That's a calico scallop that has that just really dark discoloration. Really cool. And here's another, here's a bay scallop that has that dark kind of color going on. So that can happen to any particular shell. Kind of neat. Oh, and here, now we're just looking at them side by side. So they're both calico scallops, but that one on the top has been buried for a while and it's kind of absorbed, or it's actually changed that color of the shell. Kind of cool. So I am going to relocate. I'm going to walk up the beach for a minute. I'm going to be quiet and allow you to have some beautiful beach time. Okay, we got ourselves a juvenile fighting conch. A little bit of beach stuff. We are not going to worry about the beach stuff. Awesome. Oh, and another rough scallop. So we picked up one that was like really dark. That's a gorgeous, like peach color. Oh man, that's pretty. Yep, a couple more seashells. All right, here is another calico scallop. And I guess hierarchy of things that are important to me from a seashell perspective is I would prefer it to be whole. I would prefer it to not be broken. That's like the first thing I kind of look for. That is a lightning whelk that is not broken, so I'm going to probably hold on to that. Now, that is a worm snail, and I've talked about these before, and for whatever reason, I'm like, you know what, I know that there's 3 different worm snails, so let me just quickly, it's not the Florida worm snail, is that the Fargo, or is that the West Indian? So I get my book, and this is the best resource book. I use it all the time. I'll put a link in the description box below. So I go to my shell Bible and I see the West Indian worm snail and I see, okay, the Latin name. So I'm going to kind of cross check with the Latin name because some of these shells have more than one name. I go over to the Shell Museum. I look for the worm snail and look at, all right, now it's the same Latin name, different common name. So this whole time I thought there was 3 different kind of worm snails, and meanwhile there's only been 2. So you have this one, let's go with Fargo worm snail, and then you have your Florida worm snail. I thought there was 3, but this one has 2 names. Not surprising. And it took me this long to figure it out. It happens. Look at that. Beautiful calico scallop. The tiny nugget of beach stuff on it, no problem. And this was kind of fun. I'm walking down the beach. There's nobody else here. And then I see this pile of shells. Now, what in the... Why? There's, like I said, there's nobody else here. Why is there a mini little pile of shells here? A little pile of fighting conchs. I do not know. Maybe a boat came earlier and they found them and just left them. They did not end up here, naturally. But, wow, that is pretty. So I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, I'm going to check these out. Go ahead and keep one of them. What about this one? Is it going to be 2? Oh, You know, I know there's a lot of beach stuff going on there, but I think that might be a keeper as well. Let's see. Let's rinse those off. Oh, so pretty. Mm-hmm. And luckily, I'm not finding so many shells, so I'm going to hold on to those kind of heavier fighting conchs early in my shell trip. And that is a juvenile fighting conch. I love the zigzags on those. They are so fun. Just so many different varieties. And that is another calico scallop that today, nice varieties on that. What else we got? Oh, another? Oh, another couple of, yep, had to rinse them off and take a peek. Awesome. A couple of awesome seashells. Now, I did find a little bit of garbage, so I threw that in my shell bag as well. Kind of go along. So I'm picking up the good and the bad and the pretty, like this pretty calico scallop. Now, it has been a long time since I needed to even consider the weather other than freezing my buns off, because it basically doesn't rain here in the winter, and I didn't know that, but literally it just doesn't rain for months. And then summer comes and it rains every single day, but only for a little while. Oh, there's that worm snail. Call it Fargo or West Indian. You get to choose. So there was a little bit of threatening weather, and it did rain just a tiny little bit. And that's just fine. Calico clam, because it is warm enough that, you know what, a little bit of rain might feel a little good. Oh, yellow. Yeah, you know I'm going to go for that one. Yep. The yellow prickly cockle. And more of those kind of dyed shells. So there's definitely a good variety here. There's an apple murex. So a lot, yeah, arcs, there's some surf clams, some cockles. Now I can see a little bit better on the beach, meaning like they might look okay, but they could be pitted or faded. So I'm kind of skipping those shells and just looking for ones that are a little bit better condition. Yep, so this is what I do. At least once a week, I just wander around silently looking for seashells. I have a dialogue in my head the whole time. Like I'm going, oh man, look at the zigzag. So yeah, I'm thinking it. I'm just keeping my trap shut when I'm on the beach. Awesome. A couple more beautiful seashells. Awesome. All right, so now we're going to start doing the whole exploring part. So I did hear that if I walked south, that there was going to be a part where I might be able to find the king crowns. And so I did find this little path. I had to refer to my Google Maps, and I kind of found this little path. So I went back here in hopes of honestly finding the crown conchs. I'm looking for a lumpy, muddy, slimy kind of triangle. And I found one. Now, I did assume that this critter was alive, because most of the time when I see them in this condition, they're alive. And then I turn it over and I'm shocked. It's empty? I get to keep it? Woohoo! All right. So I know it is just the grodiest, slimy, furry, muddy looking shell. And frankly, it stunk a little bit. It was a little bit stinky, but they clean up so great. So I'm going to hunt around for some slimy, mucky, muddy, stinky shells. I think I see another. Yep. Blurp. So there's another empty crown conch. And I'll try to climb. Oh, there you go. So you can kind of start seeing the shell looks like underneath it. Awesome. And so I'm in the back. There is another boat here, so a boat was able to pull up. I'm not showing you in the video just to kind of make it seem like it's only me in the island, but there was another boat here. But it is so pretty. I can certainly see why someone would pull up and just park here. Man, it's gorgeous. And I'm super interested in the slimy mud because I'm looking for those muddy, lumpy, furry, bits of shells. So that's what I'm doing. Hunting in the mud. Oh, there's a little snowy egret. He's hunting as well. Luckily, we are looking for different things. I have no interest in finding fish. I'm way more interested in the seashells, or in this case, the actual snail. So this critter is alive. And holy cow, the ecosystem growing on the back of this shell. So I'm going to try to pick it up. And I was thinking like I would be nice to it if I scooped up a little bit of mud with it. Ultimately, I don't know that it really mattered, but we do have a live crown conch here. Now the body is that black and white piece, and then the mud is just the mud I picked up. They can tolerate being out of the water for a little while, but I just like pretending I'm being kind and kind of dipping it in. And you will see its operculum. Now, once I turn my hand around, you will see the animal's operculum, which is kind of neat. They will retract all the way into their shell if they feel threatened. There it is right there. And that is the covering that will help the animal protect itself while it's inside its shell. So yay, I do have a empty shell, and we did get to say hi to one of the live critters. All right, we'll just leave that little friend alone, and I'll keep hunting. Okay. Oh, yeah, the beach will be there. We're going to stick in the mud for a little while. Here's another one. Yep. And it's hard to tell. I mean, if I just see a little bit of color, frankly, it doesn't matter. I'm going to bring it home and clean it up, and then I'm going to decide. So I don't really decide what's going on when I'm on the beach. It's going to come home with me regardless. Unless it's broken. Then that might be a game changer for me. But since these are all whole, I'm going to assume that they're gorgeous, and they will come home. And they will get scrubbed, and we'll talk about that. I'll show you at the end of the video what I do to get these beautiful shells all cleaned up. Well, actually, I should say these very slimy shells all cleaned up, but trust me, they are beautiful once they're actually de-slimed. So, lots of fun finding these algae-ridden crown conch shells. Woohoo! Yeah, I'm going woohoo! Super fun. Another, yeah, and empty too. So happy, happy. Happy, happy finding these slimy crown conchs. And then I've cut myself on my hands. Oh, that one has a lot of beach stuff on it. So I don't really use my thumb to kind of like push dirt off of it. I'll try not to. I'll try to get what I can off, but I don't want to cut myself because that's really annoying. All right, some more. Yay. Furry, slimy. Oh, look, see the color? Yep, those are going to be pretty. There's another one. Excellent. The slimier the better. Actually, it doesn't matter. Maybe the slime actually protects the shell. But I see some nice dark color there. Now, is that furry? Yes, it is. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of seeing something. If it's a little furry or just looks a little unusual, I'll just kind of poke at it and see if it's going to be one of those shells or not. So we have another. The mud. They like that mud. Another awesome crown conch. Yeah, and another. Awesome. Oh yeah, that color is really nice. Awesome. Anything else? Oh, it's blurry. All right, so it's just kind of furry. So, all right, so that was not a shell, but that's what I was kind of doing. I just kind of see something, just kind of pushing it out. And that's what the area looked like. I'm just kind of hunting in this mud. And wow, that was a lot of fun. And I got a lot of those great shells. Might as well head back to the beach and see what is on the Gulf side. So if we were talking about the Gulf side and the bay side of an island, we were just kind of on the bay side, and now we're going back to the Gulf side. And there's that weather. And like I said, it did rain just barely. But yeah, I'm going to have to start referring to my lightning app. Keep that. It did not go off, so I was not concerned about lightning. Just a little bit of rain. So I'm still headed toward the south end of the island because I saw out in the distance there, I did see that kind of like a sandbar, and I was wondering if I was going to be able to go down and maybe just kind of explore the sandbar a little bit. Might be good to find sand dollars, see what other else might be out there. But as I got closer and closer, it kind of was obvious to me that it's not really a sandbar, that the island was actually cut. I don't know if the cut was here before or after Hurricane Ian, but it is definitely here. And so at this point, then the bay and the Gulf are kind of talking to each other. The water is flowing freely between the two. Lots of seashells. This would be more of your common stuff, or believe me, I'd be bending down, picking up all sorts of stuff. And it does not look very safe. I don't think I'm going to be able to go explore that little sandbar there. Once I got closer, the water, water tide is going out. And it's, a little too deep. I can't see. And I'm like, oh well, I am not going to explore that. Oh, look how pretty. So I was immediately entertained by this beautiful view. Any good seashells? I'm just kind of, oh look, I saw something moving. It's a little crab. Not sure what kind. I think I saw like a square back crab. I don't know. Cute little thing. But I saw something moving. Now it does seem to be like a bigger concentration of shells here. Let's see, is this garbage or sea glass? I think that's questionable. Oh, it's so pretty. So once I kind of got back there, and the sun's going down, so that's the Gulf side. And then look how green the mangroves are. Nature's definitely coming back. It's so pretty. It's like a painting. It's just beautiful. And look, this is what I came to look for. More crown conchs. Now this is a critter. So we're just gonna leave that one alone. We already said hi to one earlier. Okay, what about this? We got a planter? Mate? Oh, bummer. Nope. So I will keep a big, you guys have actually kind of taught me that sometimes those big shells can make great planters. So I might have kept that, but there was too big of a hole in it. See if I spy any other of those crown conchs. Oh, here's one. Wow, it's like racing along. All right, there's one. This is really fun. I like when you can kind of like hunt in tide. This is not a tide pool, but when the water's kind of shallow and the critters are out, you can really kind of see what's going on. So you can see its white and black body. Just cruising along. Now they'll eat kind of anything. They'll eat live stuff, dead stuff, algae, worms. They'll eat whatever. So probably an opportunistic hunter. See it again? Looking for something to snack on. Oh my gosh, look at all the stuff on that shell. A couple of barnacles. And another. I wonder if that's the same one, but... So it was really kind of fun. Kind of like being in a giant touch tank. So real muddy. And so the tide comes in and out and in and out. So this area sees the water recede and come back multiple times. Look at how pretty. With the sun coming through the clouds. It was just beautiful. Yep, just me and my shell bag. And I'm so happy. Oh, friend, did you get stranded? Kind of got sucked out of the water there, or out of the sand. All right, buddy. Now, these animals are very used to being in and out of the tides. It probably would be fine, but I'm going to put it, I'll just feel a little bit better knowing, there you go. Just feel a little bit better. Oh, it's so pretty. All right, so I am still looking. I didn't have much luck finding the empty ones over here. Only a couple of those live crown conchs, but holy cow, is it pretty. So yeah, looking for a nope. I am definitely glad that I kind of came over here because it is just spectacular. Look at that. It's just so pretty. All right, another piece of glass. What about this one? Oh, that is legit. That is legitimate sea glass. It's frosted on the sides even. All right, that happens, maybe 3 times a year. Not often, so pretty lucky. Got a piece of sea glass. And a lettered olive. Give the old shine test. My thumb looks like, it looks okay. It's not broken. Oh, and another lettered olive. Terrific. Couple more shells. So I'm just having so much fun. And if you like this kind of thing, if you want to come explore a beautiful island, kayak and just have the place to yourself, go on over to SWFL Shell Guide. Allie knows her stuff. Again, this particular tour was not a shell tour, but you will be brought to a beautiful island and kind of DIY, do it yourself, explore at your leisure. I had a great time. If you like to do something kind of like this, I will put a link to her website in the description box below. Oh, guess what? Yep, number 2, legit sea glass. I found 2 pieces of legitimate sea glass. Awesome. Now, this is something super duper cool, but I did not find it. Kevin found this, and this is just like a fossil. It's like a big rock. Looks just like a big lion's paw, if you ask me. I thought that was super cool. So I didn't find that. One of the other guests did. So lots of other things out there than the things that I'm finding. I am rather drawn to both color and texture, and maybe that's why the prickly cockle does it for me. Great texture on the outside, beautiful color on the inside, and fighting conch. Yeah. Oh, it's so shiny. Oh, absolutely beautiful. Now, something else that I really, really like is safety, and Anchorworks provides that. So I kayaked out to this island and I brought this with me. Super light, super easy to set up. All you have to do is dig yourself a hole with the provided shovel, stick that bell kind of shaped thing in the middle of it, pack it down with some sand, and for all intent and purposes, you're pretty much ready to go at that point. Now, they do give you another little piece which is going to act like a little table, so convenient, and then you put the umbrella in it and you're ready to go. Now, what is the point? The point is that this umbrella is going to stay right where I put it. It is not going to blow over down the beach and injure people. The wind right now is about southwest 8 miles an hour, so it's not super strong, but that anchor is going to keep my umbrella exactly where I left it. And for me, it's really important to have a safe time at the beach. I don't want to have to worry if I get up to go shelling that my umbrella is not going to be where I left it. Now, you can use the Anchorworks system with the umbrella you already have, or you can purchase the umbrella, the entire system together. Now, head on over to shopanchorworks.com/ref/13. And you can use code SWF28 for 28% off. So thank you, Anchorworks, for being one of my sponsors and keeping the beach safe. This happens to be super duper cool because it's one of those dyed shells. That's a crossbarred Venus clam. I know it's super common, but I just really liked that it was a very common shell that's not so common of a color. So the time has finally come to get back into the kayak and tear myself away from that unbelievably beautiful island. And you know what, though? There's still a couple more pretty things to see. We did spy a cormorant airing its wings out in some of these red mangroves. I started taking my Florida Master Naturalist classes, so I'll be peppering you with information that I've been learning along the way. And check this out. We have a heron up in this tree, but watch the moon behind it. It just passed right there. I thought that was so cool. So I had such a great time. Again, check the description box below for your Anchorworks, for your shell tour information. And I did pick up a little bit of garbage. I did not weigh it. We'll just assume it was a couple ounces of garbage. Now let's talk about those crown conchs. So that's all the other stuff I found, which actually looks really pretty, kind of all colored like that in my little colander. So the crown conchs. So the first thing I do is I start scrubbing them. So with a brush that looks like that, I scrub them, I get in the water, I scrub them, get in the water, and I do that quite a few times to try to get as much of that green and all the mud off as I can. Once I'm done with that, this is the result that I'm left with. So I can tell some of those, especially those smaller ones, the color, oh, they look great. And the other ones, we're gonna have to kind of see. We're just gonna have to kind of see how they turn out. So once I'm done with that, they go into the bleach, all that green goes away, and then any of the barnacles. So I do use bleach to also really kind of loosen up beach stuff that might get on the shells. So this particular one, I don't know if you remember, but it had a lot of those barnacles and that beach stuff on it. So what I do is I take a dental pick, I get it underneath the edges of that stuff, and I just kind of pick it off. So that particular shell will probably need another round. I think I'd probably go with acid on that, and I am working on that video. That will be my next little special project coming out. But that's all the goodies, and for a tour that wasn't a shell tour, I had so much fun. So we have ponderous arcs, we have those thick leucines, the Fargo and or West Indian worm snails, however you like to call it, a bunch of those discolored shells, the bay scallops, the calico scallops, and that rough scallop. We did get one of those augers. I do see some jingles in there. So here's some regularly colored calico scallops, a couple turkey wings, mossy arcs, calico clams, some sea glass, apple murex, shark eyes, olive, lightning whelk, prickly cockles, the Florida fighting conchs, and the crown conchs. So they came out pretty good. The next, I've already bleached them again. Next up is acid, so stay tuned for that. We're going to see what they look like once we get them into that acid. So Patreons, everyone who comes along with me every week, thank you so very much. You're always on my mind when I'm out there, and I just want to thank you so much for supporting me. I love going out and sharing our time together, so thank you so very much. Next week, can I tell you, I broke my shell bag. I picked up so many seashells, it finally happened. I broke my shell bag. So we'll talk about that next week. Super duper fun. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you again next Sunday.